Hello everyone, I am Dinesh Kumar, TGT English at JNV Cathal. Today we are going to discuss the poem 4th of the book Beehive, The Lake Isle of Innisfree. This poem has been written by the poet William Butler Yeats. Let us have a look at the poet first. William Butler Yeats was born in Dublin, Ireland on 13th June 1865. He was an Irish poet. He was one of the foremost figures of 20th century literature. He helped to found the Abbey Theatre and in his later years served 2 terms as a senator of the Irish Free State. His earliest volume of verse was published in 1889. He won the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1923. He died on 18th January 1939. Dear students, you can see that William Butler Yeats was one of the important poets of the 20th century. He won the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1923. He breathed his last in the year 1939. Objectives of the poem: to enable the students to develop the ability to appreciate the beauty of nature. This is the one of the objectives, that we have to make the students able so that they can appreciate the beauties in the nature. To enable them to adopt and observe peace and tranquility of nature in their lives. We know that nature is full of peace and tranquility, so we have to make them able so that they can adopt and observe peace. To make them to develop a sense of understanding, to live in the lap of nature. To enable them to observe and describe the activities of the birds and other creatures in natural condition. Now, dear students, introduction of the poem. The poem The Lake Isle of Innisfree is a lyrical poem. The poet presents a very fine picture of nature. On the Lake Isle of Innisfree, he spends a lot of time during his childhood. Innisfree is the name of a place. It is the place that provides him ample peace and tranquility. That is why he is desiring to go back to the bank of the lake. Dear students, the place that is known as Innisfree, here the poet spent a long time as a boy, because this place is known for its peacefulness and tranquility. That is why the poet is willing to go back to the shore, or you can say bank of the lake. As far as the theme of the poem is concerned, its theme is nature versus civilization. The poet likes to go in the lap of the nature. He doesn't like to live in the crowded cities. Nature brings peace and harmony to man. It is the power of nature that it provides peacefulness and music to the man. Yeats make us see Innisfree, lovely and peaceful island. In this poem, Innisfree is shown as a very beautiful and peaceful island. And one of the theme is that man should live close to nature. If the man remains close to the nature, he can live the life of complete peacefulness without any stress. Now, stanza first. I will arise and go now and go to Innisfree, and a small cabin built there of clay and wattles made. 9 bean rows will I have there, a hive for the honey bee, and live alone in the bee loud glade. Dear students, before I go to explain the lines, here are meanings. Rise means get up. Innisfree, you have been already told that this is the name of a place. Cabin, a small room or a cottage. Clay means mud. Wattles means twisted sticks for making fences, walls. Be loud glade means echoing with the area, echoing with the buzzing sound of bees. Hive, habitation of bees. And glade here means clearing, open space. Now the explanation. I here refers to the poet William Butler Yeats. He says that he wants to go to Innisfree. Over there he will build a small room for himself with clay and small sticks, which are used to make the walls or the fences of the cabin. As he will need some food to eat also, so he will grow 9 rows of beans near his room, or you can say hut. Also, he will get the honey from the honey beehive. He says that the open space where he will build his room will be full of the buzzing sound of the bees, and over there he will live all alone in peace and tranquility. Dear students, the poet says that he will like to go to the Innisfree because this is a very peaceful place, and he will make there a small hut of mud and twisted sticks. He will also grow there vegetable bean, and he will have a honey bee beehive there, and he will be able to listening to the buzzing sound of the bees there, and all these things provide him complete peace and tranquility. बच्चों, आपने देखा कि इस पोएम में कवि जो है वो इनसफ्री जाना चाहता है, जो एक शांति में प्लेस है। वो चाहता है कि वो वहाँ पर जाकर एक छोटा सा कमरा मड और वाटर स्टिक से बनाएगा और वहाँ पर एक वेजिटेबल बीन की 9 रोज़ प्रिपेयर करेगा। वहाँ पर मधुमक्खियों का छत्ता भी होगा जो एक ओपन एरिया में, खुली जगह में गुनगुनाती रहेंगी, और ये सब चीज़ें करने में उसे बहुत शांति का, कामनेस का अनुभव होगा। स्ट्रेंजर सेकंड, एंड आई शैल हैव सम पीस देयर, for peace comes dropping slow, dropping from the veils of the morning to where the cricket sings, their midnights all a glimmer, and noon a purple glow, and evenings full of linnets swings. Some words meanings. Veil means covering. Cricket, a type of insect. Glimmer, shine faintly. Glow means shine. Linnet, a kind of small bird. Now the explanation. In this stanza, the poet says that in Innisfree he will feel peaceful, and he says that the feeling of peace is felt slowly and gradually. He describes how he would feel peaceful in the morning when it is cloudy and the view is not very clear. Then it will appear as if the morning has worn a veil and has hidden itself. Looking at this scene will make him feel peaceful. प्यारे बच्चों, इस स्टैंजा में पोइट ये कहता है कि वह इनसफ्री में पूर्ण शांति महसूस करेगा, क्योंकि ये शांति अर्ली इन द मॉर्निंग उसको बहुत ग्रेजुअली, स्लोली मिलती है। वो बताता है कि वो कैसे पीसफुल फील करेगा मॉर्निंग में, जब क्लाउड, बादल छाए हुए हैं और वो बादल एक तरह से वेल का काम कर रहे हैं आसमान के लिए, और आप ये कह सकते कि फॉग है या मिस्ट है वहाँ पर, तो एक तरह से वो मॉर्निंग के वेल के रूप में है, घूंघट के रूप में है, एंड जिसने उनको मॉर्निंग को छुपा लिया है। तो ये सीन जो सुबह का पूरा दृश्य है उसको बहुत ही पीस प्रदान करेगा। फर्दर ही सेज दैट व्हेन द क्रिकेट इंसेक्ट विल सिंग ए सॉन्ग, that sound will bring him at peace. Also at midnight, the faint look of the twinkling stars in the open sky, the noon's purplish glow, and in the evening several linnet birds flying in the sky are the never-ending source of peace and tranquility for him. आगे बच्चों ये कहता है कि क्रिकेट इंसेक्ट का एक प्रिय मधुर सॉन्ग भी उसको पूर्ण शांति प्रदान करेगा। इसके अलावा जो ट्विंकलिंग स्टार्स की फेंट लाइट है मिडनाइट में, और नून का जो पर्पल ग्लो है, और इवनिंग में जो लिनेट्स बर्ड्स बहुत भारी संख्या में इधर उधर उड़ रहे हैं, तो सभी चीज़ें उसको ऐसी शांति प्रदान करेंगी जो कभी ख़त्म नहीं होगी। स्टैंजा थर्ड एंड लास्ट, आई विल अराइज एंड गो नाउ, फॉर ऑलवेज Night and day I hear lake water lapping with low sounds by the shore. While I stand on the roadway or on the pavement's grey, I hear it in the deep's hard core. Again, some word meanings are there. Lapping means sound of waves dashing against shore, or you can say striking waves against shore. Shore means bank. Pavements grey means dull and drab paths. Core means innermost part of the heart. Now, explanation. In this stanza, the poet says that now he will stand up and go to Innisfree because all the time the sound of the lake water striking the shore repeats in his mind. This sound attracts him towards the lake wherever he is, either standing on the roadway or on the grey colored pavements. He hears the sound deep in the innermost part of his heart. Dear student, the poet here says that in Innisfree, he says that he will get up and go to the peaceful place Innisfree because all the time, day and night, he hears the lake water striking against the bank of the river, and this sound is repeated in his heart. This sound attracts him very much, whether he is standing on the dull and drab pavements or on the roadway. He hears the sound deep in the core of his heart. He feels it in the innermost part of his heart. बच्चों, कवि ये कहता है कि लहरों के किनारे के साथ टकराने की आवाज़ उसको बहुत आकर्षित करती है। ये बहुत ही शांति प्रदान करने वाली है। इस आवाज़ को वो अपने हृदय में फील करता है, चाहे वो सड़क पे खड़ा हुआ है या पेमेंट पे है, उस साउंड को डीप गहरे अपने हृदय में वो महसूस करता है। नाउ द मैसेज ऑफ द पोइम. The message of the poem is that we must learn to appreciate the beauty of nature. Dear students, we know that nature is full of wonders. It's very beautiful. We must, the moral values that we are going to get is that we must appreciate the beauty. We need to return to nature to enjoy peaceful, stress-free lives. If somebody really wants to be peaceful and without any stress, he will have to go back to the nature. We must take time to go to the places we love or doing things we enjoy. One must spare some time to go to the places one loves or doing things which somebody likes to do. Man will be able to find peace and solitude in the midst of nature. As we know that the nature is full of wonders, it's very beautiful, it provides ample tranquility and peace. So one could feel peace and complete loneliness there in the midst of nature. Now the structure and tone. The poem is written in 3 stanzas. You know, we have read the poem. There are 3 stanzas. of 4 lines each. You can say what rains. The rhyme scheme in this poem is A B A B. The poem has calm and relaxing tone. And dear students, as far as the mood is concerned, it is very peaceful, thoughtful, and harmonious. Now, some of the poetic devices used in the poem The Lake Isle of Innisfree. First of all, alliteration. Alliteration is the repetition of sound at close intervals. For example, high for the honeybee. Here you can have a look at the highlighted words. H is repeated, that is why alliteration is there. Next example is lake water lapping with low sounds. Here the highlighted words letter you can say L is repeated, so it is the example of alliteration. Repetition. What is repeated here? I will arise and go now is repeated in first and last, you can say in the third stanza. And there are some words, peace or dropping, also repeated. So the repetition is there in this poem. Next poetic device is metaphor. Metaphor is a figure of speech in which two things are compared indirectly without the use of as or like. For example, veils of the morning. Here veils are compared with clouds. Veils are the symbol of clouds. It is a metaphor for the clouds in the morning sky or maybe the fog. These could all appear like veils that are lifted once the sun shines. Next is personification. Personification is a device, a poetic device in which human traits are attributed to something abstract or non-living. In simple language, you can say that human characteristics are when provided to the non-living thing, the poetic device that is used is known as personification. Veils of the morning. The highlighted word morning is personification because here the morning is personified. Personified mean has been treated as person. So the morning is personified as a woman whose face is covered by a veil. Next is imagery. Imagery, dear students, means word picture. Word picture means picture that we can have in our minds when we read something. Some of the imageries used here are: we can behold small cabin, 9 rows of beans, buzzing hive of bees, cricket's song, beating of the linnet's wings. These are some of the word picture that we can see there. Next is rhyme scheme. This we have discussed. Rhyme scheme is A B A B, means the last word of the first line rhymes with the last word of the third line, and the last word of the second line rhymes with the last word of the fourth line. So this is the rhyme scheme of all the three stanzas. Or you can easily understood that the last word of the first line sound it is similar to the last word of the third line, and the second to the fourth line. Finally, students, home assignments. We have discussed the poem in detail. Now there are some questions for you. Question 1. Briefly describe the theme of the poem The Lake Isle of Innisfree. We have discussed the theme in the beginning. You have been told about the theme of the poem that you have to write. Question 2. Mention the activities that the poet would like to do at Innisfree. Here you have to mention some of the activities that poet would like to do at Innisfree. Third question is, what does the poet feel while standing on the pavements? What types of feeling are there in the mind of the poet when he is standing on the pavement? Question 4 is, what is the tone of the poem? So dear students, I hope you have well understood the poem, and I expect you to write these questions and to write and learn these questions. Thank you.